don't rely on anybody else. Julie and I had about another 5 or 10 years left in us as far as health-wise, rather than go and play bowls or golf or something like that. It could be 35 days.
Kuching and spend the rest of the time.
Traveling the world. Oh, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. A third of the cost of the cost of living in Australia. We've probably done about 15 to 20 trips in Grab, and it's cost us just over Australian, and that would be one trip in Perth. Something happens, you know, one of us gets ill.
I'm here in Kuching, Sarawak with Alan, who is from Perth, Australia. Now he is in the process of getting his Sarawak MM2H. Alan, very nice to meet you, and thank you so much for sitting down with me to answer some questions. So Alan,
thanks Naz, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Okay, so Alan, out of all the places you could have gone to, right? Why Malaysia and why specifically Kuching?
Yes, good question. My wife and I, Julie, we did a lot of research. Malaysia. The first thing we thought about Malaysia is, one is it's English speaking.
Okay.
Number two, it's in the same time zone as Perth in Western Australia, so we could have good communication lines back to the family. And the weather.
The weather, yes.
And I believe there's a lot of expats in Malaysia as well to catch up with down the track.
Okay.
Yeah.
But a lot of expats or foreigners, they choose KL or Penang. What made you choose Kuching?
Yes, Kuching is the research that we did.
Okay.
Looked very similar infrastructure-wise to Perth. With a lot of greenery, open spaces, easy to get around traffic-wise, and not too big and busy like KL. Well, we did some reconnaissance work to KL and Penang in January this year to get a feel of it, and we thought that wasn't for us. It's just a little bit too busy. And as retirees, we wanted to find something that was very similar to home.
Yeah,
an area. Yes.
Even the time zone, there's no time difference, right?
No time difference.
It's exactly the same time.
And it's only about 5.5, 6 hours flight from
6
Perth.
hours flight.
Yeah.
Oh, is there like a direct flight from Kuching to Perth?
There is not a direct flight at this stage. It's about a 3.5 hour stopover in Singapore.
In Singapore, and then you go off.
Yeah, so it's about a 10-hour flight to get directly from Perth to Kuching.
Okay, so walk me through the Sarawak MM2H process, because I know if you want to live in Kuching, you got to go for the Sarawak MM2H. Now, why Sarawak MM2H, and what is the process like?
Yes. Thanks to you, you put me on to a lovely lady, Angela Lowe, who's a visa agent, and she was able to take us through the process of applying for the visa. One of the other requirements of the visa for us was that one is that you didn't have to buy property as an investment, as part of the requirements, and two was a fairly new process, an easier process that Angela put us through. So they actually advised us for us to come here for a couple of days. They took us to medicals, helped us open bank accounts, and showed us around the area that we were living at.
So Angela showed you around Kuching and stuff.
Angela had a special assistant that drove us around and showed us the different areas as well, just to confirm.
So are you approved already, or you're still in the process?
We're in the process. We submitted it 5 days ago.
Submitted 5 days ago.
And I've just got notification that the first stage, we need to pay the next fee after 7 days, and that's just come through that we can go ahead and pay the next stage.
That means you're one step closer to the approval.
Approval,
nice.
Yeah, and the other thing was that it was to me it was an easy process time-wise to be able to. You can either do it online or go through Angela help you through this. And it was a far quicker process.
I mean, when you're applying for something this big, it's always best to go with someone who knows what they're doing.
Absolutely.
So applying for MM2H, what was the documents that really caught you off guard, like you needed to produce? What was the difficult part?
Nothing that I'm not used to, I suppose. So everything was an easy process. It was clear and concise, and you didn't have to produce too many documents. So you know, just the ID documents that was required. set the process off. So we did that, and the longest time to bring a document together was our police clearance in Australia.
Okay.
That took a couple of weeks.
That was the most difficult.
And we rather than just to bring that document with us, we caught up with Angela.
So did you have to go back to Perth to get the document, or could you apply for it online?
Apply for it online.
You apply for it online.
So we applied for it online when we were actually in Perth before we came here.
I see. Okay. Now, when you apply for that document, right, it'll take a few weeks. Will they send it out to you here, or you have to go and pick it up from?
No, they send it to you.
They send it to you. Someone did mention, or it's part of the application process, that it has to be notarized first.
They'll give you a certificate.
Or they'll give you a certificate.
Which you can print off.
Okay.
And so you can bring the actual hard copy when we submitted it in Sarawak here. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So it's a very simple process. Just apply for it online.
And so time-wise, it was the longest one document that we had to produce.
Oh, so that was the longest.
Yeah,
okay, the longest time.
Everything else was passport details and marriage and birth certificates and that sort of stuff. And that very, very few documents had to be produced.
Okay,
to
so for
set the process off.
Like for the birth certificate and stuff, do you also have to notarize it?
Yes.
Where did you notarize those documents?
In Perth, we have what we call JPs, or Justice of Peace.
Justice of Peace.
Yeah,
okay.
they're ex-public servants or policemen or bank managers and that sort of stuff that become justice of the peace for that very, very reason.
So you just notarize it there. Can you notarize it in Malaysia?
No, you authorise it in Perth. Yeah.
In Perth. Okay. Yeah. What has been the hardest part of the process so far?
The hardest process is waiting, I suppose. Okay. But feels though we're pretty well organised thanks to Angela. You know,
Angela, yeah.
The important thing is that you had someone local helping you out. We're a little bit older, of course. We like to do things face to face and in person.
Yeah,
that made us feel a lot more comfortable in the process.
Yeah, the trust is there when you meet someone face to face.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty important when you're moving overseas. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, moving to another country, you want to make sure you trust the local.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Financially, what does it cost to make a move like this? Like, what did you have to restructure back home to in order for you to come here?
Had to be obviously financially sufficient.
Okay.
Right, and you have to, some of the requirements of the visa is that you've got to produce financial statements that you can be financially independent.
Yeah, that you can take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. So whether you have a pension or you have savings account that you can draw that you live off.
Oh yes.
And that was one the other main attractions of the MM2H in Sarawak. It's very, very low savings amount that you had to produce.
Yeah, it's about 500,000 ringgit.
That's for
the fixed deposit.
Or you could either be 15,000 ringgit per month per couple.
Income, okay.
For income, and that was sufficient to produce those sort of statements that you could be financially independent.
Any other financial costs to this process?
I think Angela was pretty upfront with the fees, government compliant, which they show, so you know what you're up for in application fees, which is great. So you knew what you're in for. And the other one was paying for your airfares, I suppose. Getting here. And the other requirement was that, which suited us as travellers, is that you could lease a property in Kuching. It's part of the requirement, and the other is that you can be 35 days
Kuching and spend the rest of the time
traveling the world.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's part of your plan.
That's part of the plan. That's why we picked Kuching. It's pretty central in Southeast Asia, and we want to start our retirement traveling.
Oh, nice.
In traveling around Southeast Asia as a starting point.
Okay.
And it was a close proximity to Australia, to Perth, especially Perth. Same timeline. Our family and children could come and visit us at any particular time. It was very cost effective for them to do that.
Okay, yeah. What is a flight ticket like? Well, how much does it cost from Perth to Kuching?
It's about $1,500 Australian.
It's for 2 person or 1 person?
1 person.
1 person, $1,500. Okay.
Yeah. And that was the other thing that attracted us to the travel costs within Southeast Asia is very cost effective.
Very cost effective. All right.
Yeah. To help us pensioners or us retirees. It's been a very, very easy process. It's taken a lot of pressure off us to be able to do it ourselves by having Angela, her staff, helping us through the process. locally.
Okay, yeah, Angela was really a big help.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Thanks to you.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you. All right, so this is not a small move, right? Moving to another country, retiring here. What did your friends and family say about this?
Yes, they were what we call gobsmacked.
Gobsmacked. Okay.
And we just explained that Julie and I had about another 5 or 10 years left in us as far as health-wise. And we wanted to do it health-wise to do our travelling, have the opportunity to come backwards and forwards as required. We could budget for that. And also, it was easier for our friends and family to come and visit us rather than we go and visit them.
Okay.
And it gave them a bit of an adventure as well.
Oh.
And that was our retirement routine, is what we picked it, rather than go and play bowls or golf or something like that in retirement as we do in Australia. I wanted that we have our travel, and so each day is a different day.
Each day is a different day. So different day, different country?
Different day, different country. Do it when you can and why you can and when you can.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. So where's your first country you're going to once you've settled down?
The first one was probably going to go to Kinabalu for a couple of weeks. Beautiful resorts up there. Within Malaysia. Once we get our visa approved, we'll look at Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines,
nice.
Maybe Cambodia, but we can even go up to Taiwan, Hong Kong, that way as well. That's that side of it, and then see how we go next year. Maybe move around Europe and that. I love Italy and Spain, and the food and the wine.
Nice. It looks like you guys have it all planned out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did Angela mention the time process to get the visa approved? Like in the next 1 or 2 months, 3 months?
It'll take 2 to 3 months. She submitted it after a couple of days of putting it all together.
Okay.
So that was how quickly it was all done. So we reckon by about the end of August.
August,
early September, we'll have approval.
Oh, that's fast. That's another 2 more months.
So within 90 days, I think is probably the rule.
So it's best to put it at 90 days. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the one thing that still worries you about making this move?
That something happens, one of us gets ill.
Okay.
That's the only thing. And so, or Kuching have a good medical system here, and Angela's proved that. So we're comfortable with that. In an emergency, one of us can be taken care of.
Okay. There's good hospitals here as well, and
absolutely. The health system. What our research and what Angela's shown us is absolutely brilliant. As retirees, that's quite comfortable.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you know, but there's 3 major hospitals that are currently being built right now in Kuching. Yeah. One of it is Glen Eagles. It's it's about 10 minutes away or 5 minutes away from here.
Right.
Yeah, about 300 beds. Glen Eagles is the #1 hospital in Malaysia, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, not sponsored, by the way.
Because it's in West Malaysia too, Glen Eagles, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, West Malaysia. In every major city they have it, so now they're building one big one here.
Right.
Yeah,
well, that's good. Yeah.
That's good.
And the other thing, I believe that a lot of professional health professions have been trained on the Western countries, UK, Australia. So they're pretty well.
They're pretty well trained.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is comforting as well.
So for someone back in Australia who is planning to move to Malaysia, right? Planning something similar to what you've done, what advice can you give, basically?
Yeah. Write down your plan. What requirements do you want for? What do you like about yourself, food, your wine? What sort of lifestyle you want? Making sure everything's all legal and that you can turn off a switch. You can always come back home. So everybody's requirements are a little bit different, but have the basic thing that's what's going to be most comfortable for you and which jurisdiction or country is going to accept you for who you are.
Okay.
Right? And the other thing is that you are stepping out of your comfort zone. So you got to think of the basic requirements that you require to make you comfortable.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, comfort zone.
What sort of food, that you got enough income to be comfortable. You got a good, comfortable environment. That simulate where you come from.
Okay, that's true. Let's just say they all want to start. Like, what should be their first step that they do to start this journey?
Yep. The first step is do your own research.
Do your own research.
Right?
Okay.
Be accountable for your own decisions in that sort of stuff. Don't rely on anybody else. And to be able to go, you do each step at a time. So you make the inquiry, you get the information back. Well, what's the next step we got to get to get to the end result? So you got to have a plan, a step plan. A lot of advisors say you got to have a plan A and a plan B and a plan C. Okay, your plan A is that You pick a country that you want to go and live in, if that's what you want, and then put down all the advantages and disadvantages of being in that country to your own lifestyle. A lot of it, you've got to do your own initial planning. You know, don't rely on it too much. Do enough research. There's enough. AI is pretty good for that. Just put your question in and away it comes up. So use the tools of today. You know, get out of the comfort zone using the tools.
So besides AI, what other platform do you use to research?
YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah, absolutely. Put in your search requirement. It's like using AI anyway, but it's all
videos.
Videos. Don't afraid to use the laptop. Electronics.
All right. Okay, one more question. Now, Alan, you have been here for the past 1 week. You've been living in Kuching for the past 1 week. What is the cost of living like here?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. A third of the cost of the cost of living in Australia. So you spend $10. You know, it's the cost of the $10 Australian would be $2.50 or three ringgit.
Okay, you know? Yeah, so it's super cheap. All right.
Yeah. You know, I think I gave you the example where we've probably done about 15 to 20 trips in Grab, and it's cost us just over $80 Australian. $80 for all those trips.
For all those trips,
and that would be one trip in Perth. From the airport to our place, it'd be $80 Australian.
Wow. Okay.
So that's a pretty good example.
Yeah, you know? That's a pretty good example. Yeah. All right, Alan. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
And I hope you get approved soon.
Yep.
And you can start your journey. And I will be back in Kuching, and I will give you a call, and we'll have dinner one time.
Thank you. Absolutely,
right.
mate.
Thank you so much, Alan.
And thank you very much, Nas. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
And that was Alan and his journey. We're really happy for him. He'll probably get approved in the next 1 or 2 months or so. Right now, if you guys are planning to start your journey to Malaysia, you can go and download the starter kit. It's right there. It's free. Go to nasmalaysia.com. And if you guys want to start your Sarawak MM2H visa process, or you want to speak to the expert here, Angela, let us know, or scan the QR code here and Angela will get in touch with you guys. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.